Hey guys, Edison Smear's Peanut Butter and Sandwich here. Let's go over some CGC cards.
So I'm not sure on the actual total amount of cards that I got back today. Part of the reason for that is I submitted it through a middleman, same with my last order. So I'm not even sure the grades on a lot of this stuff. So this will mostly be new. A Clefairy Toys R Us promo and a CGC 9. This stuff is all going to be no subgrades as well. And while in the past I was a big supporter of subgrades, they're too expensive now. They're like 80% the cost of grading 10. I mean, I think they were always a pretty high percentage, but they're $10 now. And that just seems like too much to pay for subgrades. And even this stuff, when I sent it in, I this was kind of like me testing out if I would like it with no subgrades, and I'm fine with how the label looks. These might all be English Toys R Us promos, CGC 9. These were tough. I picked them up fairly cheap, and this is another card that's kind of gone up in raw value. But the issue with a lot of these is they're like they're not high quality cards like in the packaging. I don't know if this describe well. They typically get damaged. And you like the main things you'll notice is corner wear, lots of widening, edge wear. A lot of the cards we're gonna see later on they're warped as well. Velto Amazing Rare. This one's super off center. I'm not particularly sure why I graded those. This is also an order from April. So I think around April time, this should have been around right around then. I think Shining Fates was still super fresh and new. So I think we're going to see a lot of the Shining Fates tin promos. I was also submitting a lot of these Toys R Us cards. Yeah, Bernie's. And you'll notice too, it's just, I mean, it's super simple. It's just a cute Pokemon common or uncommon. And then the Toys R Us stamp, which I think it looks really nice. Oh, wait. I messed this up. 8 5s together. And because there's so much English, I think my average is going to be closer to 859. This is a nice one. Heart Gold, Soul Silver Triumphant pre-release. Really nice promo card. I got the staff one in my last one. The staff I went to get subgrades on just because, I mean, the value there is there is value there to justify it. And like when I sent a lot of this stuff in, what I was doing was, if I thought the card would be worth more than $50 after grading, I would get subgrades on it. And the issue with that is you'll notice like my last submission with subgrades, maybe 50-60% of that submission is under $50 now. The prices on a lot of stuff are under what I had expected them to be. Combination of stuff grading lower, but also like the overall Pokemon market has kind of gone down in total volume. Each individual card has gone down in price, but I think the total volume is still magnitudes greater of what it has been. Okay, so this is all English. We're gonna see those Toys R Us, a bunch of pre-release cards, Plasma Storm. Yeah, these are just rough. You can see on the edges, on the corners there, they're kind of dinged up. And they're nice cards. They're cool cards as well. I've always talked about this. I keep bringing this up, like how much I like stamps. I just feel like they add nice flavor to a card. Make them somewhat more unique out of compared to like all the other options you have out there. And they're cool. Like to me, pre-release is like one of those sets that you could easily put together for a couple $100. It's worth it. 9-5 Amazing Rare. This might be it. More Amazing Rares. Oh, Coco. And this is a card. This is a tough one. I bought this because what I mentioned in the video when I initially bought these is I thought it was so cool that Coco isn't a Pokemon. That's the name of the character, and he has his own Pokemon card. While in the past, when they've done like trainers, they've done them as trainer cards, or they've done them as maybe what's the word I'm looking for? Items. You know what I mean? But this is one of the few times that an actual character in the show has got, or any humanoid character has gotten like a Pokemon card. I think this is like the third or fourth time. And this is a card that was so expensive raw when I bought them. I think I might have paid close to like $6-7 for them each. And now I just picked the 30 more for $1 a piece. But I just like the card. I think it's so cool. And there might be also value in the fact that it is Japanese exclusive. These were given out, you can see on the label, Coco ticket giveaway. More or less, if you saw the Coco movie in theaters in Japan, you would get a copy. Sudowoodo, 8.5. This is probably just a run of these. Oh wait, I'm not paying attention to opening cards. just these baby shinies that I had a bunch of for $1 a piece. And these also kind of suck. Just I graded a bunch of them, and I think my prices were too high for a large part. And I've just been kind of sitting on them. So I actually, after this, oh, this is a nice Gengar. This is Sao. Oh no, it's not. It's Shibuza. I really like this artwork. I picked up maybe like 40, 50 of these in Japanese because they're so cheap. This is just from a Champion's Path. Was it Pink Collection? Yeah, Pink Collection. I ended up opening that product myself, so I thought I might as well just grade the cards from it. There's a Pokemon. The Pokemon Diamond Pearl remix came out today. I plan on picking those up. I have them pre-ordered at my GameStop. I will, like right after this, I have to package up all the eBay orders that I have outstanding. Bring those orders, drop them off, and on the way back, I'll stop by GameStop. But I don't think I'm going to have time to even play the game for a while. Because I just got back all these cards that I want to scan in and list. It's a really nice one. Manectric pre-release in a 9. I think I purchased a majority of my pre-release cards like this from Collector's Cash. And I might even still have a lot of these pre-release cards. It's just I was disappointed in their near mint, to be frank. Oh, this is Krimmer and V. You're gonna see so many of these shiny V cards. Just they're all from the Shining Fates tins. They were like $2 a piece, and I thought like that felt like way too cheap for these nice cool like promos. And the Sword and Shield promos have been like super mint out the box. So I was like, okay, if I buy them, they're probably all 9 minimums. I think that I have like $10 into this card with no subgrades. In my mind, like you could probably get $20, $25. You know, you're making double. You're getting back double what you actually put into it. I think that's pretty solid. 9. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I bought all these pre-release cards from Collector's Cash, and I was just disappointed. Like their near mint is a lot looser than what my near mint is. A lot of their near mint very much felt like light play. Rillaboom V Max. This is Shining Fates. This is a nice one. I think I picked up a lot of these shinings from a friend of mine. He opened a bunch, and I just pretty much bought the ones that he had extras of from his set. Phalanx and a 9.5. I might have pulled the Phalanx myself. I think this is one that I actually pulled. But yeah, this stuff is kind of tough. It's just gone down so much in value. Same thing with the Amazing Rares. Like, even these Amazing Rares are just not worth grading right now. Especially when you're paying to grade. And, like, just remember, too, when you see me, like, unbox this stuff, I paid probably, at the time that I submitted this, it was, like, close to half the current price to grade this stuff. Maybe, like, 70% the current price to grade this stuff. Like, it's just too expensive now to send this lower-end stuff. I really like this Gallade full art. This is from Dream League, Cosmic Eclipse in English. Just, I like it. I really appreciate that artwork. And it was, like, one of the cheapest of those Dream League full arts. Probably gonna have to move these so I can show you the cards better. Another 9.5. All right, we're having pretty good luck. I am gonna go out on a whim and just assume we didn't get any 10s in this submission. I think that's a pretty fair assumption. Just the past couple submissions have. It feels bad because a lot of these cards are super nice, and to be quite frank, they are gem mint. I always mention this. I mentioned in the past couple of videos that if you see a card here and you actually want to see what it looks like, you can see on my website, aislecollectibles.com. And that's not just to promote the website. It's also like you go onto these listings and you click one of these 9s. I think you'd be very hard pressed to find the issues on that 9 that aren't like. I think you'd be very hard to find any issues on the 9 that should detract it by that much. This is a really questionable card. This is another card like that Coco that when I bought them, they were kind of expensive because full art trainers were hot, Lily cards were hot. So then by association, this random holo from Sky Legends, it's literally just a set trainer card. I picked them up for like 7 a piece. I'm pretty sure they're like $2 now. So those have dropped by a significant percent. But it was nice artwork. I think one of the reasons I liked it was a Japanese, not exclusive, but it was a Japanese set card exclusive. In English, it was released as like a Pokemon League participation card, and there is actually, I believe, a staff version of that as well. For the higher end collectors, I suppose. Thievel 85. This is a card I consider junk. This is probably worth $10. Like realistically, that's like a $10, $15, maybe not even 15. I think I'd be happy to sell it at 15. Crobat VMAX. These are same idea. These were just like I opened up a lot of the Shining Fates Crobat boxes. I believe I had quite a few. I think I had like 6 or 7. I think I opened them all up, and to kind of recoup some of the cost of that, I just decided to grade all the promos and the shinings I got. But I mean, there's a lot of this product out there. Speaking of a lot of stuff just not being that like financially worth it or being worth much money now, I mean, I think a really interesting thing to look at is sealed products. This might just be because sealed cards, like sealed distributors were like pushing a lot of sealed product onto customers right now, just to clear out like the reprints from the recent Sword and Shield sets. And to my knowledge, you had to take on the Sword and Shield set reprints to get the Sun and Moon reprints. So a lot of people just ended up with huge amounts they maybe can't really afford to hold on to for Sword and Shield stuff. And they're just like, I mean, the booster box prices are much lower than I would have expected. I've seen a couple Elite Trainer box sales where people are asking like less than $30 again for Elite Trainers. And I mean, that's how it was a year ago. Just a year ago today, that was not atypical. A little more than a year ago now, but it seems like we're kind of returning to an age where sealed products aren't as worth as much. You know, not every graded card is now, as the kids say, stonks. And I guess, I don't know. I recently I went on a podcast with Old School Pokemon and Catch 'em All Pokemon, Catch 'em All Collectible. Sorry. So Nick and Dan, it was a great experience. They're really, really those two guys know a lot about this hobby and a lot about selling, and those are just great resources if you're ever looking to learn more, especially about maybe Troll and Toad or singles. I would definitely recommend talking to both of them. I like watching their content. Sorry, I just wanted to say this. I love this Dedenne artwork. This is seriously one of my favorite Sun and Moon artworks, and that's tough. There's a lot of good ones. This is probably ranked. I would rank this right after the Moltres Zapdos Articuno. I mean, this is such a cheap card. It's literally just from the Trainer's Toolbox, playable card, but it's iconic artwork, really cute. I guess if you needed to know, like Japan, this card's really expensive. This is like a $40 card in Japan, raw. Just because it's a set card. It's like a secret rare set card. But yeah, I went on the podcast with them this past week. It was just, it was a good time. We had a lot of great chats, and I would recommend watching it if you haven't. But one of the things that I talked to them about tentatively throughout the podcast and also before and after was what I want to plan to do with the Isles Collectibles store in the future. And one of the things that I really I mentioned was I wanted to get into sealed. I wanted to get my distributor's license, and start selling sealed. The quantities would probably be very scarce. I probably would get like 1 to 2 cases of booster boxes. Very small allocations for the other products, but it would be the start. And the reason I want to start doing it is I want to start in 2022, like mid 2022, maybe spring, because I think a lot of people are going to end up leaving and dropping the distributor licenses. Because what it used to be, obviously, this past crazy year is any product you want from a distributor, you just for full allocation. You don't slowly siphon, order some stuff in here and there. You just ask for everything that you can get right away, because pretty much every single item was close to 1.5 to 2 times MSRP. So it made sense to go ham and just try to get everything that they could possibly allocate you. And that's why we've had these shortages at distributors where literally nothing is in stock. Yeah. So I'm thinking that maybe springtime next year, a lot of people are going to move on from Pokemon. I think collectors will still be there, but I think the people who opened up, sole proprietorships, opened up LLCs just to try to deal Pokemon during this craze, it's not worth it for them. Especially if they work like a full-time job. That's tough to say. I do plan on getting a full-time job. I don't really want this to be my only source of income, especially when I'm younger. I think I could, stack bread in two places, so to speak. Get money in two places, and I think that'd be a lot more beneficial for me long term. But I don't know. I can't see for like the average person it being worth it keeping distributor license. And I say average person that has one, like I don't know how to say this, but like I don't feel like grading this much stuff is pretty average. I think this is a pretty high volume, large amounts of stuff being graded. So and I think I don't know. I think there's a lot that I could do with the Owl Collectibles brand. I'm already grading this many cards, and I love this selling process. I love maintaining a store and growing a brand in that regard. And it just I mentioned this so many times in the past. I think it's so important to have a large variety of inventory. Just because first off, you have a higher chance of getting a sale if you have more stuff, because more people, like there's just a better chance of someone stumbling upon you. But it's also like, someone randomly someone goes on the website and they realize, okay, this promo card, this Japanese promo card, I really wanted this, and he has one graded. Why not? Or I really wanted to pick up some blisters. He has some graded. He has some blisters for sale. Oh, he also has this cheap slab I wanted. I'll just throw it all together. I think that'd be great. And in that regard, like someone who I think has a really nice store is a friend of mine, Sean from Squeaks Game World. Like he is pretty much exactly the type of. He's been doing this for much longer than I have. I would say like almost 10x, 10 times longer than I have. So he's just built up that inventory over time, that reputation over time. But like I really like his store. I just think it's the perfect mix of graded stuff, raw stuff. He's selling graded video games, which I want to start doing, and I have a submission built up that I'll eventually go over. He's selling P.S.A. from all these P.S.A. CGC from all these different eras. He also has really good. Oh wait, these are not. He has great allocation of sealed products, so he's always being able to do big pre-orders. Like that's what I want. I want it to be more than just me grading a couple of loose cards here and there. And this is more than a couple, I suppose, but like I want it to be more than just me grading cards and then flipping them. I want it to really feel like more of like a holistic brand that's been built up. And this is all to say, you should watch that podcast with Dan and Nick that I did. I'll probably link both of their videos in the description, just so you could check it out. But that was just there was a great chat with them, and I'm really motivated for like this next. I'm really motivated for what this next year could hold. I think that I'm really excited to see where the brand can go. And like, there's like a lot. There's so much stuff that I plan to have the ball rolling on in 2022. Distributor license, and then also importing more Japanese products that aren't just cards. One thing I really want to start doing is sleeves. Pokemon sleeves are pretty valuable, just because Japan just has nicer designs. So, and there is just there's a barrier of entry to purchase stuff from Japan for the average consumer and average shopper. It's just not convenient. So I want to start reselling sleeves here. And then another thing that I don't think a lot of people realize, and I have a friend that's obsessed with plushes. Shout out to Dizzle from E4, but I've talked to him a bunch about that in the past. It's just pretty much any plush from Japan to the U.S. has a market for it, and that's something I want to start doing. So these are just a bunch of the plans that I have, and this is also the last card. Last card, that is Coco. So I just to do my breakdown, you're gonna love this. The total 9 5s I got for this submission were these cards right here. I'm not gonna count them off now, but for reference, the total 9s I got were around 3 times the size of the 9 5s. The 9 5s and the 8 5s are more actually the exact same amount of cards. That's pretty interesting. Like this was a pretty average submission, just modern stuff, nothing too high end. Like the coolest stuff to me was probably the pre-release cards, and then these Toys R Us ones. As I mentioned, these are tough to grade. Like they just always have issues with the corners, and like that Cosmog you saw, this one. This card is pretty. This one's pretty bad. I would say almost all the Cosmogs I bought warped right out of the sleeve. The other Toys R Us had a backing board to the card when they were packaged in the promo cases. These did not, so they were just kind of like free floating. And I think over time, because of humidity, temperature, they just warped. It's whatever, but I think like you could tell that's why this card got an 8. You could see that it's wavy in the case itself. All right, but that's it. Thanks for watching. And yeah, make sure if you, as I said, as always, if you see any cards you like, check out the website on the link in the description or my eBay. Have a nice one.